Trails N62 in our kitchen this morning. It's a little chilly out. I got the fire going in the fireplace, but the warmth hasn't quite made the kitchen yet, so it's a little chilly in here, but that's okay. It'll warm up after a while. But today we are going to be talking about pressure canning bulk product. And there are a lot of different things in bulk product that you can do. And the reason I'm doing this is because, hey, it's winter time. My garden is gone. There's no more fresh produce from the garden. And while fresh produce is the best thing that you can pressure can and save back for your pantry, there are other things that you can do in addition to meat that we've done before, and we'll be doing some more of that later. But there are other things that you can pressure can from bulk. And a lot of people, even in the summertime, don't have access to a farmer's market or their own garden or homegrown things, and to go to the supermarket and purchase enough product to warrant canning it can be cost prohibitive. But there are other places that you can get bulk product. There are other places that you can buy things in quantity, and that's what you need to be looking at. We do most of our grocery shopping that we do at what they call salvage freight places. We've got several of them around here. We rarely, if ever, go to a regular supermarket, name brand supermarket, to do our grocery shopping. And we've been surviving on our groceries at a very limited budget for years, plus now we do the garden. And we do the garden, we did it quite big for a while, and we kind of slacked off because of my workload, but we've started back in doing it more and more productive. Now today, and we'll be talking some more about more bulk product that you can because I'm going to start getting some and show you some of those. There's a lot of different things. Even if you don't have access to a garden where you grow your own vegetables, a farmer's market in the summertime or something like that, you can go to different places and buy some bulk product. And so we're going to be talking about some different things because there are people who don't have the ability to grow a garden or not able to grow a garden, but they can still process and pressure can in quantity things that divide it out into smaller portions, and that's what we're going to do. And so today we're going to do tomato sauce. It's relatively very simple to do tomato sauce. First of all, I don't water bath anything anymore. It's all pressure canned. It lasts longer, does better, and it's a lot safer process. So if you don't have a pressure canner and you want to do this, you need to get a pressure canner. They're not like a lot of people think. There's nothing to be scared of. They're perfectly safe. If they weren't safe, they wouldn't be on the market, okay? So you get you a pressure canner, get you a good pressure canner. They're easy to use. All you have to do is follow the directions, and they're relatively easy to use. But we're going to do tomato sauce. Now, there's no question about it. The best tomato sauce is from homegrown tomatoes. There's nothing like a homegrown tomato. You can't buy a store-bought tomato anywhere that compares in taste and flavor to a homegrown tomato. Last year, I do about 24 to 30 tomato plants, depending on where I put them at. But that's about how many that I do. Last year, all of my tomato garden produce went into making sauce. And so that was the 2016 garden year, and now we've passed the 2017 garden year, and I'm down to probably my last 2 quarts. I canned it all in quarts, and it's relatively easy to do that, but it's a longer process. It takes a lot of tomatoes to make tomato sauce. But since I'm about out, all my tomatoes this year in the 2017 garden season, I canned all of those, either whole tomatoes or crushed tomatoes, which is perfect for putting in to soups, into chilies, and on rice and different things like that. So I can it all without meat, but I can my meat separate. And I do have a video out on canning hamburger, and I'm going to be doing another one on a different method of canning hamburger. And so there are other ways that you can do that, and other meats that you can. But we're going to do tomato sauce, and we're going to do it from bulk. And I'll show you what I mean by bulk. All right, bulk tomato sauce. Here's what we have here. These are number 10 cans. Sam sells these, and other places sell these. A lot of grocery stores sell these also, but I get mine pretty reasonable at the auction store, we call it. They have an auction there, consignment auction. They also have a food uh, salvage food type place there, and we get these. Now, one thing I might say is I don't pay a lot of attention to the dates on the cans, primarily because the dates are used by or best by or that sort of thing. Not used by, but best by, or uh, basically the date on them is for the premium quality of it. But as long as if you have a tin can, as long as your can has no give in it, there's no give in it at all, and it's sealed. And as long as it's sealed, 99.9% of the time it's good. So if it's got any kind of give in the lids, tops or bottoms at all, then don't bother with it. So what you want to look for, especially in the salvage places, is the least dented cans, because dents tend to compromise the integrity of the product. But little dents like this, I try to stay away from dents around the rims, and I've got one here that's pretty dented around the rim, but let me see if I find it here. But it's not because I picked it out that way. Right here, see. Now normally something like that I wouldn't get, but when I picked this out, it was good. I dropped the can, so I just got them yesterday, so that was my bad. I dropped the can. So what I have here is an assortment of tomato products, and I'm going to mix them all together. I normally don't season my tomato sauce because I like to season it up depending on what I want to use it for. So normally I just do tomato sauce, and then when I want spaghetti sauce, I normally just add the spices to make spaghetti sauce. Or if I want pizza sauce, I add the spices to make the pizza sauce. But know that everything's base is in fact tomato sauce. And here's some marinara sauce. Alright, they're seasoned a little bit, and that's okay. Most of what we use the sauce for, it doesn't matter what the seasoning in it. For us, we're going to season it up anyway. But I make basic tomato sauce when I use fresh tomatoes. But today we're going to use these number 10 cans, and we're going to mix them all together. So we'll mix up the regular tomato sauce and some of the seasoning sauce, and we're going to can them. Now, I'm not certain how much is in a can, but from what I've been able to tell, there's probably going to be just a little over 3 quarts per can. So I'm not going to be able to can all 6 of them, probably just do 5 of them. And I'm going to do some in quarts because that's normally what I can in, is a quart size. And then some of them I'm going to try these half gallons. I normally just use those for storage, but I'm going to can in the half gallons. They use the same size mouth, wide mouth there as regular jars. And you can also get regular mouth half gallons. But I'm going to try some of those and see, because sometimes we need more than just a quart of sauce. And when we do, we just use 2 quarts. But I'm going to try canning some in the half gallons because I can get more in my canners. Now I've got 2 canners. Both are weighted canners that have the weights that go on them. And this is my tall one here. It will do 2 stacks of pints if I wanted to. And this is my regular one here. Now, the thing about the half gallon is this one will only hold 4 half-gallon jars, but that's 8 quarts, which is more quarts than it will hold, because it will only hold 7 quarts. So I've got 5 half-gallon jars. I'm going to put one of my half-gallon jars in here and 6 quarts. So instead of getting 7 quarts in here, I'm going to be able to get 8 quarts in here, and then I'll have the 4 half-gallon jars in here, and then that will give me also 8 quarts there. So I can do 16 quarts. So I think I can do 5 number 10 cans of sauce in those two pressure cookers, and we'll see how it goes. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is open up our cans and heat the sauce. Okay, so we're going to open up our cans one at a time, and I'm going to do this pizza sauce can, like I said, because I dented it and it needs to be used. The first thing we do, of course, anytime you get anything out of one of these stores or any store, clean the top off. And so we wipe our top off and get it nice and clean. And oh, I might mention too, the reason I got all these is they were on sale. They had an overabundant supply of tomato products, and so I got these cans for 75 cents each. 75 cents for 3 quarts plus of tomato sauce. Not a bad deal. All right. Then we're going to bring our sauce over here, pour it into our pot. Get this around here. We'll pour our sauce into our pot. And like I say, as long as there's no movement in the lid, you know that it's still sealed. And as long as it's sealed, it's good. And then, of course, there's always smell it, make sure that it's good. If you don't have a date on it, or if the date's not expired, then you're okay. But the expiration date on most cans is best if used by or sell by dates. Okay, so the product's still good after those dates, in spite of what some people might tell you. But you have to be your own judge. You have to decide for yourself what's good and what's not. All right, so we're going to put all these in here, and then we'll heat them up. Okay, and there you have it. Quite a full pot. So that was 5 cans. I might have should have got my bigger stock pot, but anyway, I've already started on this one. This will be just fine, because I'm just heating it up to just about where it starts to boil. Then we'll put it in the hot jars. First, we're going to heat this up. While this is heating up, we're going to stir it often, keep it from burning on the bottom. And as it's heating up, we're going to start getting our jars cleaned and ready, get our lids ready, and start getting everything ready for the canning process. All right, my sauce is all heated up and ready to go. I heated it slow, so I didn't have to stir it all the time. And my lids are in the water. I brought it to a boil, put the lids in. That softens them up, sterilizes them. And my jars are in hot water, ready to go. I always wash my jars in the dishwasher, and then I put them in containers with lids now. So if I have to get them from the barn, I have to wash them. But the process of canning does sterilize them, so I'm not too worried about it. They're clean, they're hot, they're rinsed. And then my cans have been rinsed out, where those will go to the recycle bin. And always rinse your cans out before you take them to the recycle bin. It's a lot better that way, and they'll appreciate it. But I did notice one thing about these is that the pizza sauce, the marinara sauce, and the spaghetti sauce are thicker than the regular tomato sauce. So that's important to remember that when you're doing this, because it's nice to mix them, and that way we get a nice thick sauce here that we'll be putting in our jars. So now we're going to put them in our jars, and we will put 2 tablespoons of lemon juice per quart. And since I got a half gallon, I guess I put 4 tablespoons for the half gallon. 1 tablespoon per pint if you're doing pints. And that just kind of helps preserve the coloring, helps preserve, and puts a little acid in there to help preserve it so it'll last better. And then we'll put them in our pressure canner, and we're first going to do the quarts, and 1 half gallon will go in this pressure canner, and then we'll be putting 4 half gallons in this pressure canner over there. And so now we're going to fill our jars, fill them, wipe the lids, lemon juice in and in the canner. Alright, and we'll be back with you once we've got all that done. You don't want to see the boring part of just pouring the stuff into the jar. There we have it once again, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice per quart, 4 tablespoons for the half gallon. And we fill those up about a ½ inch or so from the rim. And then we want to take and wipe the rim. We don't want anything on the rim that will prevent a seal. So we want to keep it all clean, the rim clean, so that we don't keep it from sealing. And then we'll go and put on our lids, and then put our rings on. We just snug them down finger tight. Everything will then go into our canner right over there. Now I'm setting my half gallon on the edge rather than in the middle, because in the middle it comes too close to my exhaust. So I want to keep it away from that exhaust. And once that's started in there, I'm going to turn my heat on, get that started up. And I've got 3 more quart jars to put in this one. And we'll be ready to start it and work on the next one. Okay, so here we are. We've got 3 full half gallons in here. And in our other canner we have a full half gallon and 6 quarts. And then our final half gallon, not quite all the way full. So 5 cans, 5 of the number 10 cans of tomato sauces, not quite 16 quarts. So, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and can that one like that. And we're going to process these at 15 pounds because I'm over 1,000 feet above sea level here. So we process at 15 pounds. And we're going to go for the full 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes on the big canner here, because it's got the half gallons. So normally it's 15 minutes for pints, 15 to 20 minutes on gallons or half or quarts. And it's not exactly precise on this, but generally 20 minutes per quart. So 15 minutes per pint. So we're probably going to do these for 25 minutes because I got a half a gallon in this one. It's better to do it a little bit too long than not long enough. So we're going to do it for 25 minutes for the half gallons. And once the air starts flowing out, we've got this one on and running. It'll take it a little while because it is on a smaller burner. And this is my big burner over here. And that's what the half gallons are in the bigger pot. So it may start before the other one. We'll see. We'll get it started. It's heating up now. Got the fire going under it. And got them both on. We'll get the lid put on. Get this one put in here. Put the lid on. And then we'll wait for them to vent 10 minutes. Once they've vented for 10 minutes, we'll put the 15-pound weight on the top. Right here on this one. And usually I've got a side deal here. There's another vent on this top that comes out. When that shuts, it's a safety vent. When it shuts, then I generally start timing my 10 minutes because that's when the flow is pretty good. Alright, we'll get started and get these going. Vent the air. Start timing when the rockers start rocking. And there we have it. Tomato sauce. Kind of a mixed bag. It's got some marinara sauce, got some pizza sauce, got some spaghetti sauce, just got some regular tomato sauce. So it looks good. Everything seems to be okay. I think all the pints are sealing, or all the quarts are sealing, all the half quarts or half gallons are sealing. One thing I did forget, we have extremely hard water, so I should have put some vinegar in the water in the canners, and I forgot. which is not a good thing because now I've got to go and I've got to wash my jars. It's just merely an aesthetic value thing, but I like to wash them off and keep them looking better on the shelf, and so I'll wash them off with some vinegar, and then of course I'll have to wash my canners off with some vinegars and my vent holes and that sort of thing. But that's what happens when you forget. Put some vinegar in the water. Doesn't take very much. It does take a little bit, especially when you have hard water. So now there you have it. We have canned bulk tomato sauces. Put them in the smaller. We went from 5 big cans down to basically 5 half gallons and 6 quarts. So we can use a little bit. 1 quart will do a nice little, that's hot, a nice little spaghetti dinner, and for 2. And then if you wanted to expand it and make some chili, we've got the half gallons. We can make chili because we usually like to make chili in bigger batches and things like that. Some soups in bigger batches to last a couple of days. Anyway, so there you have it. Pressure canning from bulk, out of season from the garden, and we're going to be doing some other things, so stay with us. From our house to yours, God bless.